What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I wanted to do a question and answer that I opened up on Instagram earlier today, and I want to answer 10 of the most commonly asked questions I've been getting on social media recently. And it's been a few days since I put a video up because I lost my voice late last week, and it's slowly coming back. I'm at the point now where I can project some words and get what I want to say across. So I figure I'd take the opportunity to get a video up before the next training vlog goes up, going through and deeper into marathon prep leading up to the Eugene, Oregon Marathon, which is at the end of April, to move my marathon time closer to that Boston qualifier, that sub 3 hour. So we'll go into some Q&A questions. Those questions are a combination of training, nutrition, fitness, and business with Bear Performance Nutrition. I've been getting a lot of questions lately in regards to Bear Performance Nutrition, what we're working on, what we're doing behind the scenes. There's a lot of moving pieces, and I want to update you guys. So, first question. I get this question every single day. Will I ever complete another Ironman? The question has been asked all the time. Will I ever do another Ironman? Because originally when I brought it up, it was like a bucket list item, right? When I first signed up for my first Ironman this past May, I never did a triathlon before, and it was a bucket list item. And throughout the whole training process, through the journey, I realized, well, I really like this. I really enjoy this, and I want to do it again. So after I finished that Ironman in Panama City, Florida, I thought about what I wanted to do next, and that was, the marathon and qualify for Boston. And I'm getting that itch again. I'm getting that itch to swim, to cycle, to run, to do a combination of the three and do another Ironman at some point. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be in the next year or two, but this next Ironman that I trained for, not really sure when that's going to be. I'm looking forward to that journey and process because Ironman was fun for me, right? It was a super humbling experience. It was something new. It was something uncomfortable. I enjoyed training between those three different systems: swimming, biking, and running. Because with running all the time, it's super impactful. And with swimming and cycling, there's very little impact. So I could stay fresh all the time. I always felt really, really good. And just learning something new, learning how to use the bike and cycle, and learning how to swim after not being able to do 20 meters in a pool, that was one, very humbling and very hard, but a lot of fun. So whenever people ask me, hey, should I train for a triathlon or an Ironman? That's up to you, but I highly recommend it. I learned so much through that process, and that was where I really got that itch. It really, it was the bite of endurance training that I was hooked on from Ironman. So I will eventually do another one. I will. It's just, when will that be? Not really sure, because as we'll talk about throughout this Q&A, I have some other goals that I'm working towards, obviously right now, but in the next year that I'm really excited to share. Got to oil the lungs. Question number 2. Have you made any significant pivots to your original business concepts with Bear Performance Nutrition? And the answer is I'm going to say yes. Obviously, we've made massive pivots over the last 8 years that I've owned Bear Performance Nutrition. Now, when I first started the company, if you guys don't know the story, I share it in my book, 25 Hours a Day. I've shared it online a lot. Essentially, I started Bear Performance Nutrition out of my college apartment in Western Pennsylvania in 2012 with a $20,000 loan from the bank USAA. It was a pre-commissioning loan before going into the military, and I started all of it with that $20,000. So when I first entered the industry as a business owner, I wanted to start a supplement company because I loved sports performance. I was studying nutrition at the Indiana University of Pennsylvania, so I earned my bachelor's in nutrition there, graduated in 2013. So through going to college and my own training and my own studies and my own research, I loved sports performance, I loved training, and I loved the supplement aspect of it. I just fell in love with everything about it. I mean, I was at the point where before I started my company, I was mixing up my own supplements in my dorm room. It's I'd buy citrulline malate, I'd buy beta-alanine, I'd buy caffeine and creatine in bulk, and we'd mix up our own supplements. So I just fell into the industry because I had a burning passion for it. And I quickly realized when I first launched my business, I had all this supply, but I had no demand for it. So I had to learn how to sell. I had to learn how to create a business because I had all this inventory. And as we grew, as we scaled, as we changed and developed as a brand, we obviously made massive pivots in the business plan, in the structure, in the way we reached a community and built a community. And I'd say like the things that really changed throughout was, one, our mission, right? So in the beginning, my mission was to create a company that created high quality supplements that I wanted to use myself. And that's still part of the mission. But now like service is a lot more of our mission than it was when I first started, right? Like, so building a community is one of the massive pieces of our mission, offering value in terms of product, service, customer service, information, education, behind the scenes content, and then building this team being my staff, my employees, our athletes, our ambassadors, our future ambassadors. So we've made massive pivots along the way, but they've changed more so in terms of always trying to improve the products, always trying to improve the line, the service that we offer, and the value that we offer. And we're at a point right now where we have a solid team, a solid staff, and the things we're doing I'm so proud of, which we can talk later in this Q&A about. Some of the certifications we've gone after this past year, some of the new systems we're implementing, some of the new products we're building that we've got a lot of questions about. So we've made a lot of changes throughout, but that's just part of being a business owner. Like, you're going to adapt and overcome as you grow, as you scale, as you learn. Question number 3, how does it feel to have lost a lot of muscle mass during this endurance transition? I get that question multiple times a day because I think it's a lot of people who are thinking about transitioning from strength training, powerlifting into endurance like I did. I mean, a year ago, I was like 30, probably 30 plus pounds heavier, maybe 40 pounds heavier than I am right now. And it's a massive change. I lost a significant amount of muscle mass and size. So how does that feel for me personally? Because I think a lot of people assume that you work so hard to attain this muscle, and then when you transition your goals to something that's not just size and strength, it's like this depressing, deep downward spiral of negative thoughts, but it's not, right? So like my performance, my training, my fitness goals, they change. You know, at some point I might be training for a marathon, and then an Ironman, and then maybe a powerlifting competition, then maybe back to endurance and maybe bodybuilding. Who knows? But with the changes of your goals in terms of fitness, your diet will change, your training will change, your body will change, but your mindset going into it has to adapt and change as well. If your mindset going into it doesn't change, well, then you're not going all into whatever it is you're doing. So if I was going into, transitioning from strength bodybuilding to endurance, and the whole time I'm thinking, oh, this sucks, I'm losing all my size and strength, I don't want to lose all this, like this is bullshit. Well, then you're not fully committed to the process, right? Like, I talk about not only enjoying the process, but trusting and respecting the process throughout the way. You got to respect the process. Part of the process through this transition of fitness goals right now is, well, there's not as much emphasis on strength and bodybuilding training as there is endurance, but it's just part of the process. You just got to deal with it and embrace it and learn through that process and learn through the entire journey. And you just got to embrace it. So I'm not by any means upset with any size or strength that I've lost along the way. It's just part of it. Question number 4, what are some future Bare Performance Nutrition products we are currently working on, or things that we're currently working on with the company? So if you guys have been following us on social media, you know the past couple months we recently got BSCG certified on almost the entire line. We're going through the process to certify the entire line right now. So in the next couple months, we'll have everything through the certification process, which is a long, drawn out, but very in-depth process. So BSCG is drug-free, banned substance-free program. It's a third-party testing organization. So essentially, every time we run our product now, after it goes to the production line, it gets sent to BSCG, which is in California, and they test for banned substances and to ensure that it's drug-free. Every time a supplement is run, which means now our products can be used by NCAA athletes, professional athletes, military, law enforcement, anyone that's subject to drug testing. We are now working with BSCG to be certified. So that was a massive move for us this past couple months. So that was big. Some products we're working on right now that will be launching soon. We are bringing back a plant-based protein powder. So we'll still have whey protein, but we are bringing back a vegan protein powder. We're going to have that probably in, I'd say, like 5 weeks. That's going to be in a peanut butter cookie and a chocolate flavor. We are almost close to being done with our endurance formula as well. It's probably another 5 weeks as well. That one is called G1M Sport. So Go One More Sport. It's our endurance product. That is a carbohydrate and electrolyte supplement. So the carbohydrates we're using are being supplied from cluster dextrin. And then we have a full electrolyte panel supplying 350 milligrams of sodium. And that is naturally flavored and sweetened with stevia and monk fruit. We're launching that in a fruit punch and a lemon lime flavor. So those are the 2 new products we'll be launching. And then other than the BSCG certification on May 1st, we are rolling out our new ambassador program. So starting April 1st, we'll start releasing information on our new ambassador program, and that will launch May 1st. And we'll have a new employee coming in to run that. Our new director of business operations, who I will introduce soon, will take over all of the ambassador, athlete, additional business operations duties. So those are some big moving pieces for the next couple months. Question number 5. This has been very frequently asked. If you guys watched one of my recent YouTube videos, you saw that I picked up the Nike Vaporfly Next Percent carbon shoes, the very popular racing shoe right now. And I picked those up to test them out because you guys know I've been using Hoka shoes for the past couple months. And I tested out the Hoka carbon base plate shoe, and I wasn't a fan. I wasn't massively in love with them. I love the Rincons. That's what I run in on my daily. And I tried the Nike Vaporfly Next Percent, fell in love. Like I'm telling you guys, I've used those for 2 runs so far, longer runs to test them out, and I love those shoes. So I highly recommend them. I will be racing in those for the Eugene, Oregon Marathon. And they're comfortable, they're fast, they feel good. So I'll do a full review on a YouTube video coming up, and I'll show a run in them. I just want to give my initial review of them. I love those shoes. So I'm currently running in Hoka Rincons as my dailies. And one of the other questions, actually, I can roll into this one. How many miles am I running a week? Right now, it's between 60 and 65 miles a week. So my Hoka Rincons are my daily running shoes. And then like for longer runs or just racing shoes, the Nike Vaporflies, I keep forgetting the name, Vaporfly Next Percent. But I'm also open to experimenting with other daily running shoes as well. So I love the Rincons. However, I'm looking for another option, another alternative right now, which I haven't really found or experimented with yet, but will be soon. What are our goals with Bear Performance Nutrition in 2020, especially after we made our first $1 million month this past November? So if you guys followed the past couple months, we had our first $1 million month. That was Black Friday this past year of 2019 in November. And I'll talk revenue goals actually with you guys because we've been pretty transparent about that whole thing over the past couple of years. So our goals for the company this year are to do $10 million plus in revenue for the year of 2020. Some of the goals within that, not revenue wise, but just from a brand perspective, are to launch a successful ambassador program and build out that platform. And this program that we build out with the ambassador platform won't just be like, hey, here's a link, here's a code, push the products. No, we are creating like a strong, like-minded fitness professional community online and in person. So with the person that will be running the program through the company, our new director of business operations, We'll be in communication with our ambassadors on a daily basis. We'll have weekly meetings and calls. We'll have live Q&As. We'll have events down here in Austin, Texas, and around the country just for ambassadors. We'll be going to races together, like half marathons, full marathons, and some other different events. So that's going to be a really fun program that we're really looking forward to. So the ambassador side of growing that part of the team, bringing on more athletes, and then hiring more employees. Like, that's my favorite part of the business. That's my favorite part about being the owner of Bear Performance Nutrition is, one, growing our reach online in our community and impacting thousands and thousands and thousands of lives every single day, changing lives for the better. That's my favorite part about it. But within that, building a team with our athletes, our ambassadors, our social media platforms, and our employees. Like, if you ask anyone here at the company, my favorite part is working with the team, working with the staff, and finding and building solutions to problems we're experimenting with or experiencing as we grow. And I love building a team that I can come to work and hang out with all day and work hard with and implement these solutions and systems to grow and scale. And that's my favorite part of it. Like, that's why I love coming to work every single day. And I don't take it for granted ever. So those are the goals that we're working towards in 2020. But 2020 it's a big year for us as we're building and implementing new systems that we didn't have previously as we grow, as we scale. And then 2021, we'll still be building and implementing systems, but more so hitting the ground running hard with the things that we established in this current year. So the things that we're working on right now, it's a 2 to 3 year plan. So some of the things that we're working on every single day, we won't see come to life for another 2 to 3 years. But we know it takes time to build these systems and put them in place, and it will be completely worth it once it launches. Next question is, what is my next training cycle after this marathon prep? You know, I get this question a lot as well, because I'm training right now to run a sub 3 hour marathon, faster than a sub 3 hour marathon. Like, to qualify for Boston, I really have to run like a 2:57 for my age group. And that's what I'm working towards right now. That is my goal. And that's all I'm focused on. I'm not going to lie and say I haven't thought about what I want to do after that, fitness-wise. Like, what are my goals after that? But I'm not going to say that I've started to put those into place yet, because I'm so focused on what I'm currently working towards. Here's the biggest problem with a lot of people. They start doing something. They start working on a new fitness goal. Or maybe they're trying to cut, or they're trying to bulk, or they want to start a business. And before they reach that goal, that objective, they're already planning the next thing they want to do. And a lot of times they never accomplish that thing they're currently working on because they quit early and move on to the next thing. And that's something I don't like to do, and I will never do. So as much as I am looking forward to future blocks of training and goals, I am 100% focused and in this current training block. Marathon prep is what I'm focused on. Now, after this is over, though, I do plan on going into more of like a balanced style of training. Some strength training, some hypertrophy, bodybuilding stuff, still running a lot, hiking, camping, trail running, and just finding like a balanced style of training, because I want to go out and I want to swim. I want to go cycle. I want to hit some heavy lifts. I want to run 10 to 20 miles. Like, I want to do a lot of different stuff, and that's the way I like to train now. But it's solely, hey, running is the direct focus right now in order to run this fast for this long. And I'll just drop this kind of preface right here is my goal is to run an ultra marathon being over 100 miles. And that will happen in the next, I'd say, 2 years. So that will be one of the other things we work on and towards next. But Boston qualifier is what's on my mind right now. Last question. Why don't I track macros anymore? And what does my meal prep currently look like? Man, I don't know how long you guys have been following me, but I don't track macros at all anymore, and I love it. I love every single part of it. I love not tracking. You know, long time ago, 10 plus years ago, you know, I'm coming up on 30 now. I'm 29 years old. I turned 30 this summer. And over 10 years ago, I had a very unhealthy relationship with food. Like, I had an eating disorder when I was young, when I was early high school. And that took some time to get over. Like, I had an unhealthy relationship with food for a long time. And that might be why, like, I got so into nutrition and ended up getting a degree in nutrition and studying nutrition, because it was such of an interest to me, especially with the psychological aspect of food relationships. And I tracked macros for years and years and years. And I became so obsessed with hitting my numbers, hitting my certain protein, fats, and carbs every single day in and day out, and having that one cheat meal a week. And I got to a point where I was like, I don't want to live this way anymore. I don't want to track my food all the time. I've been tracking food for so long. I've been weighing food for so long. I know what a serving size looks like. I know at the end of the day if I've eaten around a ballpark of protein, fats, and carbs. So I transitioned away from tracking a few years ago. And I'll track if I'm dieting for some sort of reason or trying to lose a significant amount of weight. But I focus now on food quality and then food quantity. So I focus on single ingredient food items. I have my foods that I like enjoying, but I'm not restrictive at all. Like, if the team's going for dinner, I'm going to dinner with the team. If we're getting burgers and fries, I'm getting burgers and fries. And, me and Steph now, my fiance, we eat very healthy. Like, the foods that we make every single day are high quality food sources, a lot of single ingredient food sources. And I focus on quality first and then quantity. And I eat based off of feel. So to give you an example, if I'm doing a 25-mile run for a day, well, yeah, I'm going to increase my calories for that day to fuel, sustain, and recover that training session. But if it's a day where I'm not training, or I have very little training, well, I'm not really eating an excessive amount of calories, but it's just based off of feel. It's based off of intuition of what I know from my past, what I know currently about nutrition, and what I know my body requires to be fueled and recover for a certain workout. And like meal prep for me, like I will prep potatoes, rice, chicken, turkey, ground beef weekly. Like, if you follow me on Instagram, you see me on Instagram story. I'm doing it at 11 p.m. at night, or I'm doing it 5 a.m. in the morning sometimes, just because it's convenient for me to have readily available food sources where I'm not like going out and grabbing out to eat food all the time. I can just have this food readily available. So like I'll always prep chicken, some sort of ground beef, rice, potatoes. So I have these items readily available for convenience. And that's what I do. And I'll go more into nutrition in the next couple of weeks and really diving into how to help people transition away from tracking and eat intuitively based off of feel and what they are required to eat for their training, for their specific training. That is my goal, is to help people transition away from tracking all the time and being obsessive over food and being able to just eat. So those are some questions I wanted to cover in today's Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. As always, I will see you in the next episode as we continue to train to qualify for a Boston qualifier. We'll see you guys.